Now is the time. A time you'll look back on. A time you adopt as inspiration. You will recollect this time. This moment, right now. Motivate yourself towards success. Overcome. Take over. The time is now.
That's the most uplifting thing I've heard all day, that, mate.
It is, Richie. Oh, what a day. Look we'll go through this misery.
We have to.
Well, I took notes, Richie, so
yeah, so did I, mate. So did I. I took notes as well.
What's your notes like? Detailed? Yeah. Pretty same as mine.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, let's get into it. Yeah, first of all, welcome back, Richie. You haven't been around for a while, but welcome back
Jeez,
on the
mate.
show. We had Pete and Chris who were at the game today, so at least we're not that bad. We didn't get to go to the game. And Martin, who was traveling back from his weekend away, so he didn't get to see the misery. But he's listening there now, so we'll talk you through it, Martin. First up, the team. So, so it's all Shelby back. It's ASM back. Shar made it. Dubravka made it. I was happy enough with the team, to tell you the truth. I know Bruno missed out, but he was coming back from international duty. It might have made sense to kind of give him a small break and introduce him somewhere into the game. But what did you make of the team, first of all, Richie, before I go into the analysis?
Do you know what? Pretty much the same as what you just thought. I think, and to be fair, I think everyone who made a comment in the chat, and our WhatsApp chat, said exactly the same. It was the team you'd probably pick if you had a choice of everyone who was fit. Like, obviously, who was available to selection. Obviously, there's the argument people might turn around and say you need Bruno in from the start. But I think everybody can understand why he's given that rest, because obviously he's had 2 World Cup qualifiers the other side of the world. To be fair, he has had an extra day to recover on that front. Some of the teams played yesterday. Richarlison played for Everton today, so you can before our game. So you can look on that sort of front. So, but I can understand the reasons for leaving out. But apart from that, I think the team pretty much picked itself.
It didn't help, but it picked itself. And Spurs team as well. We'll get into that. Right, I'll talk you through the game. Great first half. Enjoyed the first 40 minutes or so. But, okay, even at the first stages, as in the first 5 minutes, Newcastle are rigid and well-drilled, as an Eddie Howe team would be. Spurs pushed up and we just tried to break us down. There's shots by Kane, Dyer's free kick, both wide, ASM. He was lively for a time as well, and they could try to shut him down. When I kind of shot, and it was blocked by Spurs as well. Some clearances by Dan Byrne. There was a yellow card on Kane, a kind of cynical foul on the SM to bring him down as well. Son's shot straight at Dubs. Heiberg had a header over the bar. Then it got to Newcastle won a free kick. Son brought down Willock. That was around the 39 minute or so. And Shar, free kick, kind of through the wall. Lloris probably should have done a bit better. But yeah, we're happy days. 1-0 up. All was good in the world at that stage, Richie. And that's
it looked promising that it looked good that we got a goal just before half time, and it's one of those things where it's a perfect sort of time to score just before an interval, because obviously you can see it through, regroup at half time and go again. Yes, Lloris should have done better, and obviously the Premier League and referees decided to try and be a bit climactic and say had Chris Wood handled it on the way through to add that extra little bit of suspense. But
Drama.
obviously, it was just ridiculous. But I think if you look at it, we've had 3 free kicks in a similar position this season that we've all scored from, and we've probably been fortunate off all 3 of them. If you go back to Shelby's against Leeds, to be fair, Melier should have really done a lot better on that one. You go to Trippier's against Villa, the deflection off, I think it's Buendia on the way through. And then obviously today where, Lloris, he's French international should do a lot better with that, to be fair. But at the end of the day, you take what you get, and if it goes in the back of the net, you don't care how it goes in, mate.
Exactly. So then, fast forward 3 minutes, 40 seconds later.
Right, I'll let you crack on with the show, mate. I'm done after that, mate. There's no else to talk about.
Oh, you're not another glory hunter like Martin. Won't come on the show when we do this, is it? Right, okay. So Son had a good run through. Makio put it out for a corner. Spurs corner. Didn't kind of broke to Son again. He crossed it in. Great cross in, actually. Ben Davis, 43 minutes or 42 minutes, something like that. 1-1. 1-1. Actually, just before we get to halftime, there was that little bit of a shuffle there right at halftime with ASM, Bentancur, and J7 getting yellow cards. It was nothing really. Like, they shouldn't have really kicked off.
Do you know what? The most concerning thing about that is, Daz, right? That was the last bit of decent effort put in by anyone in a Newcastle shirt for the rest of the game. But
same time, then it left Joe Linton exposed with that yellow card because later in the game they took him off because he was in danger of getting a red card, and the game was probably more or less over at that stage. Anyway, we'll get into that at halftime. As we know, 1-0. I was happy with that first half. Okay, I know we conceded just before the break, but I was happy enough with the performance then. Blow it up then, ref. That'll be me happy for the weekend, the rest of the weekend. But what was to come was just a nightmare.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dad. I thought half time. If you go in on par, obviously, we controlled the game as well as you could first half. We always knew that Spurs are on the up, and they're a different animal at the minute. Everyone seems to have all of a sudden be wanting to play the Conte way and stuff like that. And I think what did for us really was the fact that we couldn't see it out at half time with that 1-0 lead. If we had, I think we would have probably seen a different second half.
4-1, you think of that?
We might got another shot on target.
Right, at least we can laugh about it, I suppose. Right, yeah, we have to laugh it off. Was a good battle with ASM down the left, actually, in that first half as well. I just in my notes, Wood was not winning much at all the whole game. He wasn't getting anything. No one was really. Okay, second half. Byrne got a yellow card, a sliding tackle on Kane. It was kind of bit of a spill. Well, yeah, he was unlucky supposed to get the yellow card. Then, here's where it all fell apart. Shars, absolutely shit pass into Spurs player. Kane cross and Doherty header. It was great cross and good finish, to tell you the truth. 47 minutes, 2-1. Spurs got that goal, that vital goal that whoever was going to get that was going to be potentially in the driving seat, and Spurs definitely were after that. Wood had a shot pretty much after that then with a Shelby ball. There's a cross then down the wing. I can't pronounce their man's name. Is he Swedish lad?
Kulusevski.
That guy, yes. Onto Son. 3-1. Game over then. We kind of said it in our chat, this is game over. Murphy came on for Joelinton because Joelinton was going to get the red card. Bruno on for Makio. We switched through from 4-3-3 to I think it was a 3-4-3 then. And John Joe kind of played in the centre back within the middle of that three, I guess, for a few minutes at least. Then target, ball across, 2 corners for Newcastle, nothing came of it. Emerson Royal then stuck the ball in the back of the net again to make it 4-1.
Can I just say, it goes to say how boring our game must have been that you've actually taken notes of when we got a corner, when we possibly had a ball in the 18-yard box. I don't think we've ever had highlights this low ever since we've done loaded bag, mate.
These are the low lights, definitely. Look, I do. My attention switches now in a few minutes, Richie. So actually, this is the point it switches. So Emerson Royal goal on the 64-man. So Newcastle are all over the place. Willox has a header from a Bruno cross, 69th minute. Lascelles comes on for Wood. I then decide that's it. I'm going to pause this here. I'm going to have my dinner. And then come back to this. So I go have my dinner, that's
why there was a highlight put in there. Was it because you went for your Sunday dinner?
People are going to be asking now, what did you have for dinner? But so
not on this channel, mate.
Wrong channel. So then, then I said I'd go back and watch put myself through the chemistry. Dessert it was. This is dessert. So came back and Lucas Moura was on and brought on and true ball to Burgoyne and 5-1, and that's why I stopped taking notes. Kane and Son. That's the fifth goal here. It was for me. It was the Kane and Son show really, and I just thought. Son was class, but 5-1. Bad day at the office. As I said on Sky as well, a bit of a reality check for Newcastle. Just shows you like we have a lot of work to do in the summer. But what was your thoughts of the game, Richie?
Typical game of two halves, really, isn't it? First half we've discussed, we did pretty well. To be fair, I don't think you could really ask more. We were in the game. Shame we couldn't have held on to the halftime, as we said. I think the only bad thing is that you look at the second half was how it seemed to be. Obviously, we got caught after giving the ball away, and there's a few little defensive mishaps you can look at. I think if you look at Doherty's goal. Fraser didn't really track him when he was coming in from the wing back. He let him go, but even then he didn't. He should be shouting to Manquillo to let him know there was someone coming on for the run and stuff like that, because Manquillo obviously was beaten there and hadn't got a clue he was there. So someone should have been giving him a shout, let him know there was someone coming in. Possibly even if you look on the way through, I think Shaw could have probably dealt with it a bit. But it's one of those balls where it's in that sort of area where. Do you try and leave it, or do you try and deal with it where it might, you risk possibly putting an own goal? But I think the fact it was coming from the right, it was on Shaw's to realistically use his left foot. Is he concerned about putting it through his own goal? So I would always like my defender to try and deal with it myself personally. I think for the third goal as well, just spaces seemed to open up everywhere from in the middle of the park. But I think what concerned me most was on the Emerson Royal goal. If you actually look at it, Target followed him in to start with, goal aside, and then Emerson Royal got in front of him, and Target made no effort to try and get back goal side of him at all. He was literally in front of him all the time. And I'm thinking you should be you should be goal side. You're taught that from a young age. Be goal side of your man. And he just easily got past him, and then he didn't even try to. It wasn't like he beat him dead goal side as the ball came in. If you actually watch the goal back again, he was past him. The ball was still nowhere to actually get put into the inner area, and then Target never reacted to it, and he tried to react as the ball got to Emerson Royal. So I think the other disappointing thing was just how much space we let Kane have. He was just,
he was class in the second half.
Second half, he was good. I know, like Martin said in our WhatsApp chat, it was a free hit and it was 5-1, and Spurs are a good team. But to me, I don't think they're a 5-1 good team, if that makes sense. No. I think we made them look a lot better than what they actually are.
Yeah, no, and a lot of people were thinking draw or defeat for this, and I don't know many people that thought this one was going to be a win, but they could have got a draw. They were on course for it, but it just everything just fell apart. But look at I think Eddie Howe said after the game as well. Maybe it's a good thing as well. Maybe just maybe it's a kind of a kick up the backside. I guess that they can use it to their advantage. Let's hope they get something out of it. And by the way, Richie, I'm never watching those goals back again. Look at. I'm going to cut straight to the chase. I have no man the match. I was at around halftime. I was thinking, oh, I wonder would I put Shar into contingent for man the match? I'll see what he does in the second half, and then he gets that stupid pass away that started the whole thing. I'm not blaming Shar. I blame collective blame for me, but the man the match for me is Son really. And I'd love if we could pick up a young Son and maybe a young Kane in the summer. A bit ambitious, but we need some players like that to stand any chance of hitting towards the top 8. But did you have a man of the match, Richie?
I didn't, mate. First half, I thought we looked quite solid. Solid, but not outstanding, if that makes sense. We were delivering a purpose, a game plan sort of thing, and it was mainly to stifle Spurs, make it hard to break down. So there was no real standout performances. I think, Bruno came on at the wrong time. He added a bit, as I said to you before the start of the show, I thought when he came on, we lacked that bit of control in the middle of the park earlier. We should have had him. I don't think the three in midfield they hadn't dominated the park like they have done in recent games. So it wouldn't surprise me when we play Wolves on Friday if Bruno's brought back into the middle of the park. I just think he is next level. Do you know what I mean? And you look at the performances he had for Brazil when he was away as well. He was outstanding there. Yes, okay, he's playing with a better caliber of player around him as well. But we've still got some decent players. And yes, it's a 5-1. It's a reality check, which you've got to remember. A lot of the same team. 6 months ago, we lost 3-2 on our first game after the takeover. Yeah, so we've still come a long way with the players that we've got. And yes, we brought a few players in, but we haven't had Trippier for a few, nearly a month now. Apparently, there's been a little bit of a setback up. According to our mate Jordan Cronin, there's on Twitter tonight. He said there's been a little bit of a setback regarding to what the results of his scan. So he's still recovering well, but not as quick as they'd like. So possibly another week or so. I imagine we'll have to wait and see. But it's a reality check, and yes, we know we lost narrowly against Chelsea when we were the better team, and we should have had a man sent off, and we could have went on and won it and got the penalty and all that. We didn't take our chances against Everton and lost. And I think when you have those sort of defeats, you can think you're unlucky. It shouldn't really affect the team morale and stuff like that because they're in a good place anyway. I think that that sort of performance, especially second half, it's like were they still left in Dubai? Were the team still left there? They're just all over the place and stuff like that. And it was, I think it's the reality check that with Eddie Howe said, before the game and all the weekend in the press conference that we're still in a relegation battle. I think with the way the results went yesterday, obviously helps that our result today, because obviously everybody else lost, and I don't think we're in a relegation fight as such. Obviously, if we keep playing like that and other teams pick up points, then we're going to have to unfortunately look over our shoulder. But I think the teams below us, they let us off today, so that basically rubs out such a bad performance that Eddie Howe said after the game night he's going to use that he's going to sit down and look at what went wrong when they changed shape and stuff like that, and how to manage the game better. I think, I'm just looking at some of the comments coming through. David Cook's put a good one there on Sky that Ginola says he needs to.
That's where I was going. That's where I was going to next. I was listening to that. So Ginola did say we need to scrap the whole thing, but then he kind of clarified it a bit more that he doesn't mean to get rid of all the players and stuff like that. He's saying that the project starts in the summer. He also said at the start before the match that he reckoned that Newcastle were safe. Now they're not safe yet. So we should really get into that because let's look at the table and let's look at the fixtures, Richie, because the way it's playing out. Here's the table first of all. So as you said, the results seem to go our way. Norwich aren't playing. When the Norwich playing tomorrow I don't remember.
No, it's Norwich drew 0-0 with Brighton yesterday. Should have really lost.
I missed
Brighton
that.
missed the penalty.
Okay. Well, so we're not really worried about Norwich. Okay, let's work from the bottom up. We're not really worried about Norwich, and we have to play Norwich as well. So that should be 3 points for us. If we look, we play Norwich on the 23rd of April. Okay, so Burnley do have 2 games in hand on us, right? But we also have to play Burnley in the last game of the season. Big one for Burnley, who are playing Everton midweek. That's a big one. I think, do we want to draw there, or do we want to? Who do we want to win that one?
Do you know what? It's that is the typical relegation 6-point there. Do you know what? Realistically, you look at what the points difference between you want Everton to get a positive result because it keeps the the points further away from us. So that's if. But then there's all those romantics out there who, and a lot of Newcastle fans say they absolutely hate Everton. If Everton do not get a positive result against Burnley, if they lose at Burnley, they are in deep shit. They are in so much. I think they've got 7 or 8 of their games left after that against teams in 9th and above. So you have to worry for Everton if they don't get anything. But then again, you look at both the form. Everton have got 1 tick next to the wins in the last 5, and that was a lucky one against us, really, where we went to sleep in stoppage time. But then if you look at Burnley, you've got nothing as well. So it's 2 of the worst form teams in the league, not just form wise, but full stop for the whole season. And do you know? I think the one good thing for us, Daz, is right. We can actually cover it a little bit on Wednesday night as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what the other lads think of that as well.
That's a good idea, Richie. That's good. I think it is better for us either a draw or an Everton win, because the most important thing is that we're nowhere near the bottom 3. Everything else is irrelevant. Okay, I know a lot of people would like to see Everton go down, but I'd rather see us be safer quicker than that. Let's say. So let's carry on. How about Watford? I know Watford had I was watching some of that game. Was it Liverpool they were playing?
They lost 2-0 at Liverpool.
Yeah. So they're still down there as well. And Everton lost against West Ham today, wasn't it? 2-1. Yes.
Yeah, 2-1. They had another man sent off as well. Michael Keane got sent off as well, so he misses the Burnley game. So he misses going back to his old club.
Jesus, look at that, and Alan will probably still be missing for them as well.
He got a 3-match ban again after hours. So yeah.
And then? Okay, Leeds got a draw against Southampton, I think. So yeah, they're okay. We still have a game in hand over Leeds.
I think you basically got to say Brentford had the game of the weekend, really, didn't they?
Oh, they did. Yeah,
Chelsea 4-1. That could have been us a week or so ago. If little referee decisions go away, we could have got a 3-point on that one. But you can't knock it. I mean, and Christian Eriksen helping out and getting on the score sheet as well, and playing really well. I think all football fans love that, and they like this. This is the thing about the going off for the Super League. It's results like that make the Premier League what it is. You would never get this in the Super League if the cartel had broke away and done that. This is what football is all about, where the lesser teams have a chance of beating the bigger teams. Nobody would have thought that Brentford would have went to Stamford Bridge and turned them over 4-1. But everyone loves the fact that they did. Do you know what I mean? So hats off to them. Absolutely hats off to them.
Yeah, so and then look at that brings us to us and Brentford. Okay, we're still looking pretty there, right? But it's just where our results. Let's look at the upcoming games, Richie. And where do you think our points are coming? So obviously the Spurs one is gone now. We move on to Wolves on Friday night. I had along with the Spurs game, I had the Wolves game and the Leicester game down as draws. But we're back at home now after a run of away games, bad run. So back at home for the next 3. Where are you thinking? Let's concentrate on the next 4. Where are you thinking we're getting our points?
I think we go to Norwich and beat Norwich. Full stop. I think with the home games, we've been good at St James's since Eddie Howe's come in. I think we've got a point against Man United. The only team we've lost at St James's, I think, was Man City, and we've picked up pretty much points everywhere else against anyone else. So our record at home's good. It wouldn't surprise me if we see the typical Newcastle Wolves result. It'll be a score draw. They haven't got Raul Jimenez. They've also got Ruben Neves out for that game as well.
Yeah.
So that's positive. But then we've got to act on that as well. Do you know what I mean? It's that's the sort of game with we're not having Neves in. I think that's a game where you need Bruno to start and put a real stamp in that midfield. So I think if he's on the start on the starting 11, I'll be more positive than I will be if he's on the bench. The Newcastle Leicester one, I think that'll be a fantastic game, full stop. And I'm glad I've got tickets. I think because obviously Leicester had a fantastic result at Man United yesterday and should have won at Man United yesterday. They were a tad unlucky on that one. So, you're possibly looking at another point there. Hopefully, you hope for 3. I'm trying to be realistic here.
Yeah.
I would probably be, after the day's result, I'll be targeting Palace. I think we can beat Palace at home, and I think we'll definitely beat Norwich. I think we can possibly get 8 points realistically there. I think, but I think we need at least one. At least one win. I'd say that 4 more points. And I think we're safe.
Yeah, I think so too, Richie. But okay, I would like to see wins, but I'd be hopeful of a draw against Wolves. I'd be hopeful of a draw against Leicester. I'd be expecting us to get the win against Crystal Palace with us at home, and I'd be expecting us to beat Norwich. Okay, so I'm saying the same as you. I can see 8 points there, potential 8 points. But let's play out the worst case scenario that this bad run that we're in continues. Okay. And let's play out the scenario that one of those bottom 3 teams makes a break. Okay, a lot of things have to happen for that to take place. But then I really can't see us getting anything from Liverpool or Man City, because both of them, it's going neck and neck in the title there. So if it was City that were clear, then I could see them kind of relaxing it a bit. But it's going to be all to play for by that stage as well, I think. So I don't think we're going to get anything from either of those. Arsenal are fighting for that 4th Champions League spot, and especially with Chelsea taking that dip as well. That even Arsenal and Spurs could be trying to get into the 3rd and 4th spot now at the expense of Chelsea. But so you don't want it to come down to we still needing those couple of points that we talked about on that last game of the season. So that's why these games here are so vital that we, even if it's a point we're picking up, they're just so vital to pick up. Your thoughts, Richie, if the comes to the doomsday scenario where we get to here and we still haven't got another point?
I think you'd be concerned because obviously you're going back to how we were looking at games before the Leeds game. And you start to think, right, where are your points? This is where you would be hoping that the teams below you haven't picked up any points. I think realistically. Yeah. And unfortunately, I think you'd be talking that you need to go to Burnley and win. But at the same time, that's probably not a good. It's a scenario that we've talked a lot about this season. The last game of the season, we've got Burnley away. I think depending on how we're going on, if it's still the same, I think it could be a terrible run in, and it could make a lot of decisions easier for Eddie Howe going forward in the summer. I think. Because obviously he'll have got his eyes will have been wide open and made more wide open as to how the character of the team is and players who you can see part of the project from next season going forward. I think if we've picked up a few more points, I think you look at the Liverpool Man City game. If both of them get through the Champions League and the FA Cup, there's some games to fit in around where our games are. So you don't know what the squad selection is going to be like. So that could be something that's good for us going forward. But I think what we need to do is today, especially after today's result, I think you've got to now look at each game at a time and what's in front of the next game more importantly than ever before. I don't think we can look at we're going to target Palace, we're going to target Norwich, we're going to target Burnley. You're going to have to try and pick up points from the next 3 games in particular, to put pressure on the ones below. Because if we don't get any points at all, we're going to be dragged backward with it, unfortunately. So yes, we've got that little points gap at the minute,
9,
but that can, we went on a run. Leeds have done it a little bit of a run as well and got away from it.
Yeah.
Everton win their couple of games in hand, and I think they're level on points with us. So it's you know what I mean.
It's exactly. It's.
That's why I think that's why Eddie Howe's saying we're not out. We're still in relegation, because it can turn like that, like it did for us. And while it's mathematically that you can still technically go down, you should always be looking over your shoulder. I think if we get 4 more points, though, I think we're realistically safe. But I'd prefer to have those 4 points sooner rather than later, though.
Exactly. So I think, in summary, it's don't panic. We still have those 9 points, that cushion, but let's see how the next couple of games come. So before I tell you what is coming next week, because it's a big week unloaded next week, I want to say, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. It's a red button on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. If you're watching this back, it's beside Pete, actually. You'll see it there. And also, there's a button for join. For €199 a month, you get to become a member of Loaded. And you put yourself into the draws. And the draws are coming up next week. So make sure you check that you are a member to get yourself in the draws. Because we're going to have a number of draws next week. Because there's a few things happening next week. But let's talk about the sponsors first. So first, the sponsors are, let's go to Bronwyn first. We have blackandwhitearmy.com and we have 1881, her new brand. So Bronwyn's launching 1881 on the 15th of Good Friday, I think it is, on the 15th of April. I'm sure she'll be back on with us again to talk about through that. And of course, at the moment, you still have the black and white range that's still available online.
Remember, all proceeds from the profits from the Black and White Army do still go to the Newcastle Food Bank, if anyone wasn't aware of that.
That's right. We have Shy Burns and the range of clothing from Simon, a good friend of the channel, Simon. And
he's in the chat again before as well. So thanks for joining us again, Simon.
And as I said, the pictures we have to. You did great work, Richie, on the pictures. We must spruce up the pictures for Simon as well, because there's some new range. Or even actually, you know what, we'll do it midweek. We'll show up the website again, like we do with the Premier League table there. And we'll walk through that. And there's also pins and prints. And Richie, talk us through the new stuff that's popped up there.
Yeah, you really have to keep an eye on Pins and Prints website, pinsandprints.com, or you can go to @pinsandprints on Twitter, and that'll take you straight to the shop. The Newcastle range, the amount of stuff he's churning out at the minute is unbelievable. I've got a few behind me above us on my picture. You can probably say I've got this one at the very, very top.
That's nice, yeah.
Yeah, Eddie Howe's Black and White Army, which I do like. I do have this one over my right shoulder.
The assist.
Yeah, the assist. Yeah. I had to get that one because you said it was an assist. So I had to. But he's also brought this one out to go along with the Trippier one. That's his celebration from that actual free kick. We've all seen the combination of the 95-96 shirts before. So he's also went and brought a couple more to go around that sort of era. So fantastic. Alan Shearer, typical right arm aloft celebration. I can't guarantee where that one's from, but I've got a feeling it's from off his debut goal against Wimbledon, his home debut when he scored the free kick. But I could be wrong, but I think I've seen that picture before, so it could be that one. Also, same era, the one and only Peter Beardsley with the hood claret and blue shirt. Absolutely love that one. Obviously, we've got the big Joe print still there. But he's also with the Brazilian theme. He's went for, you can now buy Bruno's goal as well, which I know will be popular with a lot of the fans. You might want to come on you Maggies with Willock, or he's even went and got the little wee man one there for any Scots out there, Geordie Scots out there. But also, these are the pin badges we've mentioned a few times. We do actually have one of these to give away, and they are a limited edition. This is a Jonas Gutierrez celebration again from his goal against West Ham when he kept us up that season. We've also got the new limited edition one as well of Hatem Ben Arthur. And as per usual, we've got John Joe Shelby, who's still looking for Loaded. There you go, Daz.
He didn't find us today.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, bottom of the screen, pinsandprints.com. If you do go to the checkout, you do like anything you bought there, put in the code LoadedMag and the coupon code, but you also get 10% off your purchase. That's not just a one-off. That's every time you make a purchase from Pins and Prints.
Cheers, Richie. Okay, you've been dying for this one, Richie. You've been dying to talk about this one. The show that's coming up on Tuesday. Okay, next week.
It's a big week, actually, isn't it?
We've
got a good week lined up for everyone.
Yeah, so well, you might have seen that I put out the little video for our birthday week, but the first one coming up on Tuesday at 7:30 is over to you, Richie.
It is the one and only Pete Graves is finally getting around to join us. It's been, we've been in communication for about 2.5 months now, and unfortunately, with his schedule, he's a busy man. He's he does MC and presentation evenings himself. Obviously, he's got a family back home in the northeast. But we finally managed to tie him down. Perfect timing as well, because his podcast, Transfer Talk, won the sports podcast winner for last week as well. So we'll be able to celebrate that win with him on Tuesday night. We will discuss everything NUFC, how we can rival being a podcast against him next year in the podcast awards. Hopefully he might give us some hints and tips on that. But then again, he might feel threatened, so he might not want to do that if he thinks we're that good.
He could join us. He could join us.
Yeah, he might decide to join us instead. But no, we're really, really looking forward to that. It's good, and we had it for a while. We do have to say a big thank you to our mate George, who did help get that wheels in motion by asking people if we voted for his podcast, would he go and appear on Loaded? And fair dues, Peter agreed, and he's stuck to his word. He's coming on next week, so we're really looking forward to all that. And I'll be very, very surprised if it is fully loaded on Tuesday night.
Yeah, full house that night. All right.
So
take over, George. Protest, George. Cheers, buddy. And then to continue the theme for the week, we're back again then on Wednesday for our birthday show. So the party starts at 8:00 on Wednesday evening. If we're not still hungover from the Pete Graves show, but and we've a lot of guests lined up to come and join us there for our birthday bash, I guess. So Pete is going to open a new bottle of brandy. Martin has stocked the bar, and Chris he's going to take a night off from the Avon, really. But join us for that, and special guest as well, the zebra. That people have asked for the zebra to come back, so I've got to dig out a zebra.
You do realize Martin was in the chat before, and so you've probably let that one slip. Bear in mind, you'd said the other night you were to the people in chat, you were going to keep it quiet and not to tell Martin. So he's been in chat tonight. You can guarantee he's going to watch us and pull you in the WhatsApp chat later on, mate. Guaranteed.
And then after that on Thursday, because the game is on Friday, we're back with another away days. So away days with the Talking Wolves podcast. So that's Thursday night. So that's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night now so far. Then you have the game on Friday. Obviously the game on Friday, and then we'll be back with the reaction show on Saturday. I think is when we're going to do our reaction show. So. And as Richie said, during the birthday bash on Wednesday, we'll be keeping an eye on the Everton Burnley game. So, which is a big factor in our stay in the Premier League, let's say. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that.
I think realistically, we've got to hope that Everton win that realistically, because it keeps.
I think it makes more sense that if for Everton to win that, at least then it keeps Burnley down. It doesn't give them a bit of momentum as well. Because we don't want them. We don't want them coming to that last game of the season and it being a shootout. No, no thanks. Richie, that was all I wanted to say. There will be the prizes. The prize draws will be on that Wednesday show as well.
Yeah, we're planning on. Yeah, we've got a giveaway from each of our sponsors to give to our members on that night as well. So that's a nice one. But we've got numerous guests popping on the show. We're not going to say who they are. That's going to be a little bit of a surprise for all of the viewers. But it's people that you've seen on the channel before, people who've supported the channel in this show in particular over the last year. but it's all people like you love as well. So they're going to drop in during the show and celebrate our 1 year birthday, basically.
Exactly. And I'm sure there's, as we wrap up the show, Richie, I'm sure there's people tonight that are panicking. There are some people are probably seeing Eddie Howe's lost 3 games in a row now. Probably not all his faults, really, in a lot of those games. But yeah, and potentially even calling for, he said, there's a long way to go. It's about staying. It doesn't matter where we finish in the league. It's about surviving this season. Then the project can really start. As David Ginola said, scrap it all and start again. Maybe not so. Maybe tweak it a good bit. Bring in fresh players. Bring in Dan Ashworth as well, and get this whole new.
Get cement in place and get going in the right direction straight away. That's what he's done. This Dan Ashworth thing's dragging on a little bit now. And if you read reports that's happened during the week, the fact that the reason why Brighton aren't letting him go is because they're playing hardball and want compensation off him. That's why they're basically making his contract. And if that's the case, I believe he's notice period's the end of September. So if we don't stump up any compensation before then, he ain't going anywhere before then. So have to wait and see on that one.
And Brighton might as well take something come the summer.
Do you know what? I think they're not after much. I think it's 2-3 million compensation. And to me, that's well worth it, because especially when you look at how much compensation we paid Chef Wed to get Bruce out of his manager,
different era,
and then how much we paid Bruce and his coaching staff to leave. I'm not being funny. If you get the right people in, you can get the early in. The sooner the better. That 2 million or 3 million, whatever it is, it's well worth it.
And maybe they're happy enough to wait as well. And I'm sure.
Do you know what? It could be, Daz. You never know. They might be thinking that they haven't done their research properly, and FFP is affected by technical directors as well, and hope that's not going to occur any FFP going forward. We know that's not the case. By the way, we do know that's not the case. We're just making a joke about it.
We'll get that started. Look, we'll just end and say, don't panic again. It's not all doom and gloom. Okay, we had a bad day today, but things will look brighter even tomorrow. And if it doesn't look brighter tomorrow, it'll definitely look brighter come Tuesday with Pete Graves joining us. So join us for that one. Thanks everyone for joining us tonight. Thanks Richie, and welcome back. Welcome back to the shows, and we'll see you Tuesday. And we'll look at. I think we'll play out with the how. It didn't work out today, but we still have faith in Eddie.
Yeah.
So thanks everyone for watching. Talk to you later.
Good night.
Good luck. Oh.